What's up, guys? Scotty2Hockey here, aka the Average Hockey Fan, back in action once again. I know it's been quite a while since I made a video. Was out of town with my family, and I'm not gonna lie, I have been watching a lot of Toronto Raptors basketball. We the North, go Raps, up 2-1 in the series. But what this video is going to be based upon is the fact that Erik Karlsson has let it known that he either wants to come to the Montreal Canadiens or go to the Ottawa Senators. He wants offers from either one of those teams this offseason, and it's kind of a big deal. Habs fans up in arms, and the reason why he wants to come to either one of these markets is his wife is homesick, and this is close to his home. And we all know, especially family guys, that family comes first. When you have kids and you have a wife, you're going to want to go where they're going to want to go, especially if you're signing an 8-year term and you're locked into staying in that spot for 8 years. So when it comes to Erik Karlsson, this is what I had written down. When it comes to offensively gifted defensemen, very few have set the bar as high this past decade as Erik Karlsson. The former two-time Norris winner has been the guy who new hot defensive prospects and rookies seem to draw comparisons to. Very few have come close to looking like the next Erik Karlsson, though. His elite speed, insane offensive ability, the fact he has been the cream of the crop in his position makes Habs fans extremely excited that he has shown interest in coming to Montreal and is rumored to want to play there or in Ottawa. Do I think this is a good move? A lot of Habs fans are going to say you're crazy for saying this, but I will explain my reasons why. No, I do not think this is a good move. I'm a big fan of the guy, but the fact is he only had 45 points last year, had 2 major surgeries in the past 2 years, groin and ankle the last 2 years, and he wants far too much term and he wants far too much money. The expected contract for Karlsson is going to be $11 million per year, 8 years, pretty much the Drew Doughty contract is what he wants. He is a right-handed defenseman, which is another reason why I think Montreal shouldn't sign him, because it's an area they are set in. Especially in their top 4, they have Petrie, Weber, who have both earned their spots, and I do not want Montreal management to risk the team's future to fill in a role that they are already very secure in. They need to add strength on the left side of the defense, and they need to add top 6 forwards to the core. Bringing in Karlsson takes away way too much cap to realistically do that. So as much as I understand fans' excitement, and as great of a player as Karlsson is, maybe signing an injury-prone $11 million right-handed defenseman to an 8-year deal isn't the best move to make. Petrie and Weber are an excellent top 4 right side duo. They have earned their roles, and to see either get traded, in my mind, is a slap to the face of the player and a slap to the face of fans of those particular players. To those guys. And they're far cheaper options, so the future is very bright. My question in the end is, why risk it? We do not need a top 4 right-handed defenseman. We have Shea Weber, who's on a cheaper contract, who's pretty much almost just as good offensively as Karlsson is, and far superior defensively. As great of an offensive defenseman as Karlsson is, he does lack on the defensive end. I've heard a few people say he's a big upgrade to Jeff Petrie. Yes, he is a big upgrade to Jeff Petrie offensively, but on the defensive end, he isn't that much better than Jeff Petrie. But Erik Karlsson is one of the best elite defensive defensemen. Despite only having 45 points last year and 62 points prior to that, fans of Montreal know what this guy can do. We've seen him take it from his own team's net, go all the way up to the other end of the ice, not get touched by a Habs player, and score on the Habs before. We've seen him in some great series against the Habs in the playoffs. We've seen some great regular season games, especially when Subban was around. He always seemed to bring it against Ottawa for some reason. We've seen Erik Karlsson stand on his toes in Montreal many times. But when it comes to Erik Karlsson, I do not think it's the best move for the Habs to sign him. That's just me personally, and his numbers this year kind of warrant it. $11 million on an 8-year deal when you have this many good prospects. You have to re-sign Max Domi, you have to re-sign Brendan Gallagher next year, Philip Deneau, Thomas Tatar. They're all going to want bigger contracts. You're going to need your cap space to bring in an $11 million right-handed defenseman when Montreal is already secure in that position. It just really makes no sense to me. I understand people saying you can trade Weber, you can trade Petrie. Weber's going to be hard to move because of his term and how much he gets paid and how old he is and the fact he had a big injury himself. And Petrie, he just shouldn't be moved. He's earned his second position role. And Erik Karlsson, if he comes, he's going to want to play on the top line. If it was on the left side, I'd say do it all day. You could have Weber and Karlsson as your top line. But the fact is, we have Jeff Petrie, we have Shea Weber, we have Christian Folin. We're pretty secure on the right side, and we have some really good right-handed defensive prospects too. So to me personally, as a Habs fan, I don't want to see him do it. If they were going all in right now, trying to win a Stanley Cup this year, I can completely understand him doing it. But in an 8-year term, having him around long term, he's had 2 big lower body injuries, which he had to have surgery on. I don't think it would be the greatest move myself personally. In 2018, 2019, in 53 games played, he had 3 goals, 42 assists, 45 points, was a +6 with only 1 power play goal, 18 power play assists, 19 power play points, which isn't good by Karlsson standards by no means. He had an abysmal 1.8 shooting percentage, so he dropped off in a lot of areas last year. I know he had an injury at the end of the year, but this was even before the injury. He had 69 blocks, 44 hits, and he played 24 minutes and 29 seconds per game. But his career numbers show how good he truly was, or truly is. I should say is, because he still is a great player. It's just, will he be the Erik Karlsson that absolutely dominated in Ottawa, that was the on-ice defensive leader? I didn't see it in San Jose, and I didn't see it in his last year in Ottawa. His career totals, 680 games played, he has 129 goals, 434 assists, a very impressive 563 points, was a -30 because he do lack in some areas defensively. He's not the most physical presence for a defender. He's not the best in front of his net, but he will lay his body on the line and block shots, and he does have good stick work. He had 31 power play goals in his career, 184 power play assists for a total of 215 power play points, a 6.4% career shooting percentage, 956 blocks, so impressive in the block shots areas, and 613 hits, so he's not scared to hit, but he doesn't lay a pile of hits on people, and he averaged 25 minutes and 51 seconds per game, so he definitely is a workhorse on the blue line and eats up a big chunk of minutes. So do I think the Montreal Canadiens should sign Erik Karlsson? My personal opinion is no, they should not. It risks too much of the future. It hurts you in trying to fill other roles, and it still leaves your left side of your defense completely weak. So for me, I don't think it's the best move. But would I be mad about it if Habs went out and do sign him? Not really, because I'm sure they'll move a few players to make the cap space to be able to bring him in. But it honestly hurts the team up front. Doesn't address the left side. So to me, personally, as the average hockey fan, it makes no sense, but I completely understand the Habs who do want him to come to Montreal saying that they want him to come to Montreal. I completely understand their point of view. Anyways, guys, I know it's been a while since I made a video. I have plenty more content to come out soon. Thinking about doing another Mac Duchene video and possibly a Phil Kessel video, because there's been a few rumors about, at least Habs fans want Montreal to go after Phil Kessel. That's what I've heard. So it's the average hockey fan. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Ring the bell for my upcoming videos. Feel free to comment on what you think, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to say Montreal should go after Erik Karlsson. Completely understand your point of view, but mine is just different. Scotty Tuwaki, a.k.a. The Average Hockey Fan. Enjoy your day, folks. Over and out.